primary body that actually oversees the shea butter and essential oils would be the South African Revenue Service. However, there are departments that are helping or assisting SARS to ensure that you are compliant. And first of all, SARS is responsible for the customs clearance process, and they also ensure that all imported goods comply with South African import regulations and collecting the relevant duties and taxes. As our previous speaker spoke about the duties and taxes, there will be duties and taxes that you will be paying depending on the trade agreements that South Africa has with your respective country. So SARS will be looking into that. Then we've got the Department of Health. And this is for if you're bringing in the shea butter and essential oils, if it's for cosmetic use. So they will be looking at overseeing the regulations through the CTFA, that is the Cosmetic, Toiletry and Fragrance Association of South Africa. So this ensures that the product meets the safety and quality standards. And if it's for therapeutic use, like for your essential oils, the body that is responsible for this is the South African Health Product Regulatory Authority, that is your SAHPRA. And then we've got our South African Bureau of Standards, and they are involved in setting and maintaining the standards for various products, including cosmetics and essential oils, and they will be making sure that all your products meet the quality and the safety requirements. So if you're bringing in products for food use, if it's for consumption, you will be dealing with the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. And they will be checking to see, for example, the shea butter that is imported for food use, whether it meets the safety standards and it's free from pests and diseases. So in summary, if you're bringing in products for the cosmetic use or for consumption of shea butter and essential oils, you will be dealing with, firstly, SARS for the customs clearance, import duties, compliance with import regulations, then the Department of Health, and that is to regulate cosmetic and therapeutic uses, who will be working hand in hand with the CTFA and SAHPRA, and SABS, who will be ensuring that the product is of quality, and DAF for food safety regulations. So the importers must also ensure compliance with the requirements of these regulatory bodies are met in order to have a smooth importation of shea butter and essential oils into South Africa. And the next sector that we focused on, or the industry that we see that is quite prevalent, is the textile and apparel industry. And the primary regulatory body overseeing the import of textiles into South Africa is again the South African Revenue Service. However, there are also other departments that assist SARS, and again, SARS will be responsible for the customs clearance process, including the collection of duties, taxes, and ensuring compliance with import regulation for textiles. Then we've got the Department of Trade, Industry, and Competition, and they are responsible, or they oversee the trade policies and regulations. They are responsible for implementing trade agreements, import controls, ensuring that imported textiles comply with the South African trade laws. Then we've got our South African Bureau of Standards again, and they will be checking to see whether the textile products meet the quality and safety requirements. Then we've got an agency called ITAC, that is the International Trade Administration Commission, and ITAC usually administers import permits for textiles. They enforce the quota system and implements anti-dumping measures to protect the local textile industry in South Africa. So in summary, SARS manages the customs clearance, duties and compliance with import regulations. The DTIC oversees trade policies, import controls and compliances with trade laws. SABS to ensure textile meets quality and safety standards. And lastly, ITAC, who will be administering the import permits, quotas, and the anti-dumping measures. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Leah. So here we've seen we want to now start importing into South Africa, but we're always missing key market information, right? And without knowledge, we don't really have power. And this is the main aim for today's session. We want to see, if I want to now go to Mauritius, what is their main need? What products are they searching for, and how can I reach that market? And this is where our representative for the Shooties Mauritius Hub, Ms. Kiran Bahadur, will now share with us about how we can enter Mauritius. Thank you, Kiran.
Thank you, Caroline. So, Jumbo, greetings from Mauritius, and we are really happy to be here today. So, the EDB, the Economic Development Board of Mauritius, is on top of being the institution for investment promotion and export promotion. We are also hosting the She Trades Hub. So, we found that eventually Mauritius is a population of nearly 1.3 million people, and we are a net importer of food products. So there is plenty of opportunity for food, fruits, and dairy products to enter the Mauritius market. Just to give you a snapshot, we believe in the African market, and not only export, but also our import in the African region have increased. From 2019 to 2023, we have an increase of 54% of import. So, I mean to say we are importing from the region, more from Africa. And the tendency is more like going for food, fruits, and dairy products. There are lots of interest for that, so if you are interested to penetrate the Mauritian market, you will have to have the clearance from the AMB. Of course, it's related to health issues, the consumer health, and other, health issues and the welfare of the citizen. So you will need to have the clearance from the AMB, the Agricultural Marketing Board, and also phytosanitary certificate from the Ministry of Agriculture. Not to mention that you need to pass in the custom. Okay, so this is where the MRA gets in. Right, and just to give you statistics on our import for the food and the dairy products, it's like $188.46 million. So we are a small market, but there is potential. We are a net importer, so I believe that we can do more. Though we have increased the trade within the region, we believe there is potential for more. The next market we've seen is textile. We are known to produce quality textile products, but we are also an importer of raw materials. So when we buy textile yarn and fabrics, it's mostly for to export to the US and to the European market. So from there, of course, you will need the clearance from the Ministry of Commerce. And of course, all the custom clearance goes through the MRA, the Mauritius Revenue Authority. And on top of that, because we are exporting to specific market, like the AGOA, so we need to have the rules of origin, the certificate of origin. So this is very important to certify that our products have quality raw materials. So this is where really the certificate of origin comes in. So just to cut it short, if you want to do business with Mauritius, the EDB is the platform, and on top of that, the Mauritius Trade, and we have also the Mauritius Trade. Yeah, we have an online platform, the Mauritius Trade Easy. It's mauritiustrade.mu. You just need to find out your HS code, and you will get all the clearances that you need to go to Mauritius. Because all these are sectors, but maybe you have specific, a line of products with specific HS code. So we have found a solution for all those who want to trade with Mauritius. Go on the platform, plug in the HS code, and you will have all the clearances clearly defined. But we'll be most happy to assist you in case you have any query or anything that you may need to do business with Mauritius. So quick, but I think it's concise, and I will be available for any query you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kieran. It's so amazing that we have very powerful people seated up here who can assist you to do trade, right? And now I just want to welcome to the stage Ms. Efua Yeboah from the Ghana Export Promotion Authority to share with us about the She Trades Hub in Ghana.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Efua Yeboah. As she said, I'm with Ghana Export Promotion Authority. And GEPA, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, as the host institution for the Ghana She Trades Hub, is defined by its commitment to empower women-led businesses through inclusive trade development and capacity building. Okay, so two markets that is thriving in Ghana are the agri-produce markets and the industrial arts and crafts markets. So in assessing the agri-produce markets, the PPRSD, Plant Protection and Regulatory Service Directorate, ensure that the produce gets their phytosanitary and sanitary certification. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture, as well as the Environmental Protection Agency, ensure compliance with Ghana's agricultural regulations. The Food and Drugs Authority, as well as the Ghana Standards Authority, also see to food safety certification, traceability, and labeling. For the art and craft industry, there are industry standards and regulations that these arts and crafts makers have to comply with, as well as regional and continental trade protocols, such as the AFCFTA and the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme. Also, I want to say that in this year, our CEO, Dr. Ifa Asabiasari, the first, she launched a Dinkra International Arts and Crafts Fair, which is aimed at sharing knowledge and inspiration whilst championing authentic African arts, crafts, home decor, jewelry, and textile products. Yes, so this initiative also gives the chance to meet big players in the industry. Okay, and GEPA also has other initiatives that are aimed towards developing women in their businesses as to grow. So some of the initiatives are the Ghana Export School, which is a school is a program where women-led businesses are taken through fundamental or intermediate courses just to promote them or give them the guidelines when it comes to exporting their products, or just know the export markets, which markets are suitable for their products, or which markets they can create for people coming into Ghana to come and do business also. So it gives them that opportunity to learn and then improve themselves in the country as a whole. So I'll just end here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Efua. We're really trying to see how we can make it easy to do business within the FCFTA. And by having everything streamlined, let's say, for example, having the Ghana Trade House in Kenya, we also have a Kenya Trade House for the FCFTA, how we can leverage these opportunities to make it easy to reach these markets. So I want us now to just do a quick group discussion for 3 minutes. Do you know who your neighbor is? You know them. So I want you to just ask each other, what have you learned? Just by these 3 presentations so far, what have you learned? What markets have you seen that is lucrative for you to enter for the African market? And then I want you to ask them a random question. If you were a color, what would you be today? Okay? So these 3 things. Which markets do you want to enter? Which products have you noticed that are very lucrative for you? And if you're a color, what would you be? 3 minutes.
for the ITC, we are going to connect making. Are you exporting to UK? Some of them
There's a question. Perfect. Yes, are you on the Hoover app?
Okay. So are you in Comesa? Comesa? Yes. Comesa? No. Yes. So do you also advise your people to have those certificates? Which is ECOWAS certificate.
Kwenye finance bill imekataa kupita. Uone vile amefurahia.
Tuendelee ama tusiendelee? Tuendelee? Okay, I'm gonna just grab your attention now. So, whatever you've discussed among yourselves, and also whatever questions have come up, do you remember that Hoover app on your phone? I want you to post your questions on the Q&A session, and then our speakers are going to answer them on the Q&A part. But now I want to welcome us to the stage the representative for the She Trades Hub in Rwanda, Ms. Annette Benegusenga, the head of the Private Sector Federation Specialized Cluster. So, Ms. Annette, you can please take the stage.
Thank you, Kalale. Good evening. I think I will not say my name. Already Karen said my name. So I'm from Rwanda Hub. So we choose only two markets. One was for manufacturing. manufacturing of iron and steel products. What do you need to do that business in Rwanda? The requirements, how do you access the market? First of all, you need to have the certificate of origin. And then if you are in ESC countries, then you need to have ESC certificate. And if you are in COMESA, then you need to have a COMESA certificate or FCFTA certificate for you to access some of the tariffs to be applied. And then the second market, it is in agribusiness. It is about, we choose vegetable fats, oils, and other oils that are made in sunflower seeds oil, that is olive oil, oils in coconut oil, and others. Yes, we know we have some of the companies that are making these oils in Rwanda, like Zima. We have some of the companies here and others, but we are still importing these oils. Of course, for you to access the market in Rwanda, you need to have the certificate of origin, certificate of analysis from manufacturer, from exporting country. If you are exporting it from Ghana, of course you need to have this certificate. In our country, we have the government body that is in charge, that is Rwanda Standard Board. So I think in your countries also you have the same institutions that are mostly looking at the quality assurance. So you need also to have the same ESC certificate if you're in ESC countries, COMESA and FCFTA for Africa Free Continental Free Trade Area. So Rwanda is our coming country, especially in terms of business. So we have government institutions that are in place that are there to support if you want to invest in Rwanda or if you want to bring your products in Rwanda. There is, if it is consumable products, we have Rwanda Food and Beverage FDA, so they help you, and Rwanda Standard Board is there to also to help you to acquire those required certificates. If you want also to start your company or for the investment, Rwanda Development Board also is ready to help you. So there are other certificates according to the clients. You can also acquire the import license, import visa, and other related certificates. Thank you very much.
You know, I'm learning so much. What I've noticed is, let's say for South Africa, it depends on the agreements your own country has with Kenya, right? But with Rwanda, they're using the regional economic communities. If you're in COMESA, if you're in the East African community, with the FCFTA certificate. So everyone has different strategies on how to help you import. And I hope you're taking down these notes. You're also taking down those contact information that has been shared on the PowerPoint, and we'll make sure that you also get those PowerPoint slides so that you can contact our great representatives behind me. And now I just want to welcome to the stage the representative for the She Trades Hub in Nigeria, Ms. Ngozi Ibe. She's the Deputy Director for Export Inclusiveness, Women, Youth, and Special Needs. Welcome, Ngozi.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Greetings from Nigeria, a population of 220 million people. So if you want to do business with us, you must be ready to capture at least 1% of that market. So Nigerian Export Promotion Council is a She Trades Nigeria hub hosted by NEPC. And we are the federal government's agency for the promotion, diversification, of non-oil exports from Nigeria. For us, we selected 2 markets that you can come into. One is the ICT, the digital space. Dealing with 220 million people, it's not it's serious business. So for us, if you have that opportunity to key into this ecosystem, the digital space and the ICT, you're welcome. So, but that space is not so regulated. We have 2 agencies, depending on where you want to plug in. We have the Nigerian Communication Commission, and we have the National Agency of the National Information Technology Development Agency, that's NITDA, to deal with in that space. So, but we can do the connection for you. Secondly, we looked at the agro-processing sector, where we're looking at the dairy sector and the rice. Remember, we have a huge population to feed. So if you're ready to do business, contact us. My information is on the screen. Thank you.
Nigeria did not come to play. If you're ready to do business, you contact Ms. Ngozi. You've heard that. Last but not least, I want to welcome to the stage the representative for the Gambia Hub, Ms. Musu Sise. Please, Musu, welcome to the stage. You're on this side, sorry.
Thank you. I guess we saved the best for last. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Musu Sise. I'm from the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. I work for the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, a very cross-cutting ministry. This is where the hub is hosted, and I am the coordinator for the hub. So after some thought, having our entrepreneurs in mind, the 2 products that we thought would have a big impact, a huge market, is in packaging, is in textiles and packaging materials. We don't have an industry for these, so we export both of these mostly from Asia and recently from Senegal. So as you can imagine, it's a huge market because our products have to be packaged, so this is always in demand. Regarding these 2 products, I'll be talking about both of them together because there's no specific access requirement to enter the market regarding textile and the packaging materials. What you will need, however, just in case you want to establish a business, which we are advocating for, we want investors, you would have to register with the Ministry of Justice. If not, then you could be a supplier, but like I said, we'd rather have you invest. So the Ministry of Justice to register the business, and also you would have to know our local customs regulations, which the authority is the Gambia Revenue Authority. All of these are placed on websites online. You can go online and have more information regarding these. You would also need a certificate of origin from the Gambia Chamber of Commerce. Again, you can contact us or get online to get more info regarding these. And lastly, our Standards Bureau. Like I said, there's no standard or access requirement, but the Standards Bureau could be of help and support regarding the designs that you would need, the standards, because we'd be exporting to the international world, so you would need the Standards Bureau for support when it comes to design, quality, and standards. So to conclude, we're very small. I think we're the smallest in West Africa. We are about 2.93 million people. So apart from the textile and the packaging materials, we're urging all of you to do more research to be able to invest in any products or sector that you have interest in. We're open for business. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sise. So we've heard that there's not, so you don't need to, you said you don't need a specific standards. You don't need specific standards for the Gambia, which is really great, and you already have the support of the Ministry of Justice, but also the Standards Bureau, so you can learn how you can align your product and your packaging so that they'll be able to export internationally. So I've seen some questions on the app, but I'm going to save question and answers for a bit later. I want us to just go back to our group discussions. From the 3 hubs that have just shared with us, which key products or key sectors have jumped out to you? Just discuss among your groups, and then if you have questions that you want to specifically ask our country hubs here, please post them on the question and answer session on your Hoover app, and then we will address them. So 3 minutes again, and then we'll do Q&A. Sounds good? Sawa sawa? Sawa sawa.
Unaona screen.
Okay, so I've noticed that we have one question that I'm going to pose to our speakers here. The question that was asked on the Hoover app is, what strategies have you found to help women effectively identify and enter niche markets or emerging sectors in your hub country? So you can let us know, whoever wants to take this question, please feel free.
Thank you for this question. The first thing that I would like to inform all our clients or our SMMEs here is to do a market research. And that is where many of our SMMEs are failing. I mean, we've had instances where clients were taken to Russia with gin when we know that Russians drink vodka. So that is where the biggest failure happens. But from a government and a business support organization perspective, how can we strategically make ourselves available and assist clients would definitely be based on the trade agreements that we, South Africa, would have with other countries. And then secondly would be also and this would be something that you really need to consider, is getting into supplier development programs within your country. And that would develop you, ensure that you are compliant for international standards. And if your organization or the company that you've done the supply development program for is in more than one country, you will naturally be able to export your products based on the presence of that corporate company in other countries also. So you need to study the market, number one, look at where your products are needed. And even if a product is needed, as much as we love Africa, we want to trade within Africa, you need to look at the logistical aspects also. It's quite a costly affair. having to take products all the way from South Africa right to the western part of Africa, or even the northern part of Africa. It's not easily accessible. So all of the logistics, your risk, all of that takes into play when you're making an informed decision on which market should I look at. So, I mean, a simple thing as my Gambian counterpart who traveled from Gambia to Kenya, it took her almost 2 days to get here. So imagine products that we are taking to other countries, what a long feat it would be having. So look at those kind of logistical hindrances that you would be facing, and also see where your product is needed. That is the main thing. We've got, they said 9 countries here. Your product may not be needed in 9 countries. Look at specific countries where your product can make a difference and where you see sales increasing for you.
Thank you so much, Leah. One more speaker wants to take that question, and then we close this discussion.
Yeah, so just to wrap up on what Leah said, totally agree on her. The connectivity and the logistic is a big issue in Africa, so we really need to be prepared for that. Especially wherever you are. I'm taking the case of Mauritius, so you need to take into account the logistic part as well. On top of that, I would say that for Mauritius, if you want to enter the market, we do have platform. So you have already done your market research. You know that there is, you know your HS code. You know that there is eventually you fall into these categories, and you feel that okay, let me try. Okay, so we are here to help you. And on top of that, we have this portal, the Trade Mauritius portal. You know your HS code. Plug in your HS code. You will have all the certificate that is required. But this comes at an advanced stage. When you are ready to export, you have already done your market research, you are willing to do business. So this is where this platform comes in place. Another important tool is the ITC market access tool. You can make use of this tool as well. Say you know your HS code, you want to see if there is demand, potential demand, or potential market entry for any, I mean to say, it's not only for Africa, it browses globally. So you can eventually make use of this tool. It's a wonderful tool. Make use of it. So maybe as a support organization, we'll try to give more training on how to use the ITC market access tool. It's a wonderful tool. Make use of it. It's free of cost. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Can we give a big, warm round of applause for our speakers today? Thank you so much for coming all the way to Kenya to share with us. No? Oh my God, yes, you do.
So, here's the thing. In a moment, I'm going to give the podium to somebody whose way of life is take command. I like the way you smile at me like, are you kidding me? But what I'd like to do right now is ask the Absa Director, Global Markets, Stella Mambo, to come on stage and gift to my amazing speakers before they run away. And while they are doing that, I want to ask you to do something for me. Could you take a selfie with the person next to you and tag us? Just the person next to you. Please, 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 please. I'm going to take a selfie with you, Caroline. Can we do 2 Carolines? Yes. So where's Stella? There's Stella. Stella, let me help you do that, and then Caroline and I will take a selfie. And then, do you have a neighbor there at some point? Great. Take selfies, quickly. Yes, give everybody a bag, and then we'll take one picture, all of us. Take a picture, stops up on the chair. Thank you so much. Great, great, fantastic. Take these out of your way. Oh, those yours. Okay, great. So Caroline and Caroline are taking their selfie. What are the odds? What were the odds? No, both of us. Oh gosh, I gotta have one. Because there might be a gift for the first 5 people. We took a good one. I don't know about you. Shall we do it on yours? Okay, yeah, on this side, yes. Oh, Caroline. Caroline is busy trying to make friends with me. Okay. Done. Somebody has asked about Kenya.
Yes.
Somebody asked who's the hub representative for Kenya. Who is?
So, drum roll, please. The hub, the host, Kenya. Can we give them a big round of applause? They have done an amazing, amazing job to bring us here together. And on day 2 tomorrow, you're going to have a whole session just dedicated on the Kenyan export market. So this is why we didn't want to spoil it for you. This is why we did it for tomorrow, okay? We didn't miss them on purpose. So I'll give this to you, Caroline. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Ladies and the gentlemen here, what is this? Okay, I'm just going to keep it here, put it in my pocket. I want us to finish this day and this afternoon with a lady who I met how many years ago? Almost 10 years ago, I think, to be honest. Her job actually requires her to take command. We live in a world where every time the word female is added to a title, it creates a surprise. Female surgeon, female pilot, female head chef. There's a surprise, and I've never understood why. And I've always said I want to live in a world where my daughter is not surprised to hear female anything. Okay, she's Kenya's first female marine pilot, and she joins a world of marine pilots, and she is a first among equals, because I do not believe there's any other African sometimes on the crew with you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Captain Liz Marami. Captain, take command, because that is literally what they tell you. Oh, by the way, if for any reason you feel your high heels don't allow you to be seen, I will give you the handheld. You're good?
Yes, I'm good.
Because she's pint-sized. Okay, take command. Okay. What's this?
Good afternoon, everyone. I wouldn't think, if you saw me saying head to starboard, you wouldn't imagine I'm so nervous up here. But nervous is good. That's what I learned in this industry. Now, I remember when I told my dad that I will be coming for an Absa conference, his reaction was, Absa, you? And I'm pretty sure most people, I mean, you successful entrepreneurs who are here, will also think, like my overthinking brain, I am no entrepreneur. And so, when my dad posed that question, if you know me, or rather by the end of this, you would know who I am someone who does not like being challenged. If you challenge me, I'll go down that rabbit hole. And so I went down that rabbit hole. And this was the definition that I got. That was actually my favorite definition. Because I would tell you, I'm not an entrepreneur. I couldn't hold a lemonade business when I was 6, so I'm not an entrepreneur. However, this was my favorite definition. It says, entrepreneurship is when an individual who has an idea acts on the idea, usually to disrupt the current market with a new product or service. And the word here is disrupt. And I knew I am the business. So I went back to my dad and I told him, I am the business, and that's why I'm here today, to share my story on how my goal went from wanting to just leave my parents and enjoy life abroad when I got a scholarship, to disrupting the whole maritime industry and showing them that it was about time they had people who look like us in the industry. Now, this journey started way back in 2009. Please don't count my years. I promise I'm young. When I got a scholarship to go to Egypt and study for my BSc in nautical science, I was giddy about being in my early 20s and starting my life on my own from the not so then gentle parenting. I was excited for the freedom. Little did I not know that I was about to be forced with challenges that were completely unheard of. Now, I come from a family of 4. We are 3 girls, and there is a boy at the end, but the focus is on the 3 girls. So the 3 girls were raised by a pediatrician and a school head teacher. And gender was never something that was defined when roles were given. So I still went up and fixed the aerial when the TV was not working. Again, I know it's a digital era, do not count my years. Still washed the car, still went to the farm when my parents decided they wanted to go to the farm. So gender for me was not something that the roles were not defined by gender, neither was how I looked like defining what I was at that time, until I found myself in a class in Egypt, whereby not only was I the only female in that class, but the color of my skin was shouting. Now, during that time, I used to raise my hand up and I would say, I have a question. But I could notice I used to be ignored all the time. And the Chinese whispers that were there were, they're only here to look pretty in their uniform and fill the diversity gap. And that's when my mission changed. That freedom I wanted, away from the not so gentle parenting of then, became a mission to disrupt the industry, to be known, and to ensure that they realize I'm not just here to fill a gap, but I'm here to show them that I'm better than what is there. 2013, I ended up graduating amongst the top in my class. If anything, I remember being told I'm seated on the wrong seat. And I looked at them and I told the man, I think the question you should be asking is, what's my GPA? And that standing ovation that I got as I walked up to pick up my unlimited second officer license was something that made me realize that the journey had just begun. I was going to change this narrative. And I went on, came back home. Now, I've got to explain to you how this industry works. For every license, you have to work at sea. Just like airlines, you have to have hours, working hours. You have to work at sea, and foreign going or ocean going for it to be an unlimited license. So, I didn't think it was a brainer, so I decided to come back and start applying for jobs. 200 rejections later, I realized nobody's gonna hire me because the answer was the same. We don't hire women, we do not hire women from Africa. I ended up landing a job and I was working as a marine pilot under the supervision of a senior pilot. Then I took a look at the structure and I realized my second officer license will not have me sitting on the tables with the big boys because they had the unlimited master mariner license. But I needed to go back to sea. And how was I going to do that? I was going to make sure we were being heard. So I started what we call a digital storytelling platform called Against the Tide, Women Going Against the Gender Tide. And boy, did I tell stories of women across the world. I did not fear nothing or no one. I was going to tell them as candidly until we were heard. And during that time, I noticed something. I noticed on the front page of the national newspaper that the Kenya National Shipping Line was getting into partnership with the Mediterranean Shipping Company to recruit hoteling seafarers. And I was angry. I was angry because there was a narrative that was going around that I was the first female marine pilot, which is true, but here I was trying to beg for sea service to work on board international ships. and I did not know of this opportunity. The next morning, fueled by adrenaline, because that's all I can say, I found myself in the Ministry of Transport. And I asked the same thing that I said now. I have this ask, and I'm not included. You need to change this narrative. It's not just about hoteliering, but I can drive that thing. I walked out of that office, not sure what I had done to my life, but I will tell you that I did shake some tables, because the next day I got a call from Sorrento, Italy, and I was hired to work with with MSC Cruises. But that's not where it started. They made me start as an intern, a cadet. So my sea service wasn't counting. But you know what? I was desperate. I was so desperate, there was nothing that was going to stop me. I said, I'll just need to set foot there. And once I set foot, they're going to know who I am. I got sent to France, where I was able to be one of the people who started a new build, one of the largest ships then. And during that time, the captain came to me and told me, I don't understand why you're a cadet. I told him, I have a license, Captain, promote me. And they told me, fine. Are you going to go home and rest and then come back as a third officer? And I said, yes. I had been on for about 9 months, so I was like, yes, I'm going to go home and rest. And I came back as a third officer. And then my sea service started counting. Now here I was knowing that I'm going to go up into getting the license that I required. And during that period, while I was working as a third officer, I got approached by one of the largest cruising industries, the Royal Caribbean Group. And the Royal Caribbean Group not only offered me a higher position, they told me that they heard of me through the disruption I caused with the stories I told of women who required equality in the industry. We were changing the narrative. And so were our conversations being held in the International Maritime Organization, such that today we have an International Women in Maritime Day. I joined the luxury line Celebrity Cruises under Royal Caribbean Group, where I joined as a second officer. And that was in the year 2020 during the pandemic. Every contract after that, I just got promoted. I got promoted to a first officer. And then I got my sea service, and it was time for me to go and start getting my next license, which was my chief officer license and captain under 3,000 gross tonnage license. And like I say, I wanted to prove the world. So I went to the most prestigious merchant marine academies to get the most prestigious merchant marine license, because I was going to show them that it's not about how I look. The brain is there. So I got certified in the United Kingdom. So I got certified, and I came back as a first officer on board Celebrity Cruises. And let me just say that I got to work with the first female American cruise ship captain. And these were just mere dreams that I had back then, until someone told me I could not. And then I was like, you watch me. You just watch me. Last year, I got promoted to chief officer when the ship was being taken to what we call dry dock. Now, dry dock is when the ship is being taken out of water, and they're going to start doing the maintenance that they need to do after 5 years. This was the first time for this prestigious class of ship to be taken, and to be promoted to chief officer deck. It was a big thing, such that they made my male counterpart hanging around for another 5 days just to see if I can do the job. Not only did I do the job, I went above and beyond. And those are some of the pictures of us in dry dock. And so I just got off one of the newest ships that we have as the Chief Officer Navigation. I moved from deck and I went now to navigating. And as the Chief Officer Navigation, I had so many roles. And today I'm only 2 months shy of completing my sea service to attain the unlimited master license, the highest certification in the merchant marine. And one way I can describe myself is resilient. The journey will not always be easy. Yes, now I sit in rooms where my opinions are hard, but that doesn't mean the journey has come to an end. I still am called Sir when they call the Chief Officer Navigation number. Good morning, sir. And I was like, no, it's ma'am, with so much grace. And they will still greet the first person who was probably a lower rank than me when they walk into the bridge where all the business happens, just because of how I look. But again, that doesn't take my eyes away from the prize. I'm not set at their disrespect. I'm set at disrupting this market and making people realize that someone who looks like me can and will command that $1.3 billion ship one day, because I am the business and I stand on business. Thank you.
I know. Okay, I'm going to call Lydia Karanja, Director of Transactional Banking, to come and gift Liz. I won't even stand in this picture. I mean, what's that ship worth again? $1.3 billion. Okay, we're all going to go home and ask ourselves, what's stopping us? I know. She's just... Captain. Well done, Captain. When you're getting selfies with her, remember to call her Captain. Yeah? I knew her when. Gosh. She was fighting to get to sea when I met her. And also, let's be honest, we were all almost ready to give you any other job. Yes. Because we were like, she'll never get hired. Captain. What do you want? Without the bag. Okay, this one you guys get to do. Yeah. Oh, bag Absa. Ladies, and the few lucky gentlemen in the room, I want to bring this day to a close. Clap her all the way to her seat. Oh, wow. You know, I would not have thought that this is how we end this day. You are going to be a subject of conversation today, tomorrow, with our daughters and our sons. And I think for me, it's to listen a bit more when our children are trying to do the impossible. I have been inspired. You have made this job so interesting for me. I remember when Absa told me they wanted me for 2 days, I was like, can we stand each other for that long? But to be honest, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm hoping you have been inspired. I hope you will be an inspiration to others. And I'm hoping whatever it is you've learned today, you put it to use. You see, knowledge, we say, is power, but we're a little wrong there. It is the use of that knowledge that is power. Go forth, be inspired, inspire others, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:30 for breakfast. Please make sure you go to all the trade stands, buy something. Those who know me know I'm going to be walking out like this because I shopped, but I shopped before all of you because I did not want to shop with you. You would run me out of town. Okay, so my favorite spaces obviously are this side because I toured that side in the morning and I can't wait to see what else we have going on. Ladies, you've been awesome. Gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us. To the great team from IMG, thank you for literally getting my IQs more than anything else. And please have an amazing evening. Look after yourselves and see you tomorrow. Take care. Okay, for all the event organizing team, I need you on stage for pictures, please. Anybody wearing the organizer tag? That's it. The rest of you, continue having fun. Event organizing team, you're required on stage for pictures.
Wave Beats Music. Wave Beats Music.